Okay, it's me, Loz Guest, here with Mr. Anthony Kiedis from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. How
Howdy.
are you?
I'm good, thank you.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you and your giant red friend there.
It is quite large, isn't it?
Yeah.
Welcome to London.
Thank you.
I was hoping you might bring a bit of California sunshine with you.
I did. It shows its face from time to time.
Mm.
It was sunny yesterday in the afternoon.
Yes.
My nanny, who's a bit of a Mary Poppins, actually brought the sun. What little sun there is, she brought with her.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, have you flown in from Los Angeles, or are you sort of on the promo tour? Is it?
It's not a promo tour. We actually played shows in Europe, and then it ended as a promo tour.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we played all over Germany, Austria, Holland. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Those places.
And how were those shows? Good?
So fun.
Yes.
So fun. They were all fun. I think Pink Pop may have been the most fun.
How come?
It was booming. The audience was just booming. It was all good, playing under the sky in the summer in Europe. You know, people show up, they care, it's exciting. It's a win-win. But Pink Pop just elevated to the next level, which you would think it's an older festival. Maybe people would be a little bit been there, done that. They were having it that night.
Was the weather good as well? I've got to ask, because over here it's been awful recently.
Yeah, you know, it's been rainy over there,
Yeah.
but people don't seem to care.
Well, it was a bit like that actually on the weekend, because I was at Download Festival in Donington, and it was just the worst rain I've ever seen in my life. We had mud custard.
Right.
I think people were calling it. There was rivers of mud.
Yeah, that's a bit much, but I notice people show up prepared.
They do.
With the boots and the gear and whatnot.
Well, they embrace it. You know, we have that sort of British bulldog spirit over here. I think we go for it a little bit.
Okay. Bulldogs in the mud.
Yes, exactly,
Cool.
exactly. So you must be very happy, excited, you know, upon the release of the new record.
Comes out tomorrow.
Yes.
I don't know when this comes out, but
It'll be out when this goes out, but, you know.
yeah, it's the 17th.
It's out.
It's a date that we've been waiting for. So yeah, the anticipation is coming to a full frothy head. It is. It is. Last night I was trying to fall asleep and I was like, whoa, this moment is upon us. It's happening.
Do you still get the same sense of anticipation with the new album? You know, because it's sort of 30 years, 11 albums in now. Is it still the same?
It is. It may be a little more than ever in some ways. We worked very hard. We spent a lot of days writing music and driving across town through thick traffic to get to studios, and you know, I woke up early and hacked out these lyrics, and we care.
And I gather you had quite the hard taskmaster actually in Danger Mouse.
Yeah,
on
yeah.
this
I mean,
album.
he's no joke. You know, he's not afraid to go to work himself. You know, he would get there early.
Yeah.
And he would leave late, and then he would go home and work some more, and then he'd call me the first thing the next day and say, I've got these 3 other songs I want you to work on before you come into the studio today. And he was driving the ship. It was really a fortuitous move.
And I, from what I gather as well, not scared to tell you if he didn't like something as
From
well.
the get-go.
Yeah.
Our initial meeting was to play him the 20-some-odd songs we had written. And he sat there and he listened to everything. And then afterwards, I'm like, did you take notes or anything? He's like, no, I heard everything. Well, did you hear the 18th song? He's like, yeah, I didn't like that one. But the one before it I did like. I think we're going to have to write a new chorus. But I did like some things about that one. Well, what about the other ones? Like, he's not afraid to say what he loves and what he doesn't.
Have you had that before? You know, working with producers, or was it more unusual?
It's more unusual. Yeah. You know, Rick is also a musical genius and a brother, but he just wants to let you do your thing. You know, you wrote it, that's it, that's your song. Let's record it and make it the best we can. Brian he wants to get rid of everything that he's not madly in love with and just work on that which he is totally in love with, and then write some other stuff that he's in love with. He wants it all to be as blue chip as possible.
So is there still sort of a bunch of stuff which you're in love with still, and he might not be? Is that sort of hidden away somewhere? You know, might that ever see the light of day?
Doubtful.
Yeah.
But there are a few that we did record with him that didn't make it on the record, which will find the light of day somewhere. Soundtrack, something.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how does it work? You know, was it your choice to go with Brian? Was there sort of a hit list of people you want? I mean, is it you that picks up the phone and calls him, or do you get someone else to do that?
It would be us who picks up the phone to call him. As a band, we're a true democracy. We share everything equally. The responsibility, the money, the tasks, the writing. That's just how we roll forever. So when the notion came that we wanted somebody new just to force change, we needed change. Josh knew Brian from having been in Gnarls Barkley with Brian.
You're right.
So he reached out first, but then, Flea doesn't want to be out of the loop, so he also followed with the call, and then I don't want to be out of the loop, so I was like, well, send me his number. I want to talk to him. We all reached out, and luckily he was available and continued to make himself available.
Well, he's a busy man, isn't he, I would imagine?
One of the most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, it's turned out very well with him. I mean, the Getaway itself, the title of the record, is that something to do, was it a Steve McQueen film? Is that where that's come from?
I have to say that Steve McQueen Film sort of owns that title in perpetuity for all time, but I don't mind borrowing for the use of our record because it's a different, medium. And same with the song. And, it probably was a nice little phrase before Steve used it.
Yes.
He just was able to be a part of that great movie. And it makes sense for our record because it will transport you to a place which you could liken to be a getaway.
Yes. Well, it's a funky little song as well.
It's a lovely little jam.
Really good.
Yeah. My favorite song on the record.
Is it? Was that, being your favorite song on the record, was that one you maybe wanted to have as a single at some
chose
point?
it as our first single. I thought we should come out with something completely different than we've ever done before.
Yeah.
And to me, that song embodies that. It doesn't sound like anything else we've done. And it also sounds futuristic and has a Brian Burton stamp of approval on it. So initially, he and I both thought that's our single. And then Brian kind of flopped on me because he was deeply in love with Dark Necessities as a piece of music.
As am I, by the way.
Cool, thank you. And the other powers that listen and direct singles and things like that, which is really not even my forte, they all honed in and chose Dark Necessities.
Sometimes they know what they're doing, don't they?
Sometimes they do, yeah. They chose Under the Bridge when we did not.
Yeah.
So many years ago. Warner Brothers Records, they listened to it and they're like, well, that's a single. We're like, it's just a weird little ballad we did. It doesn't have to be a single. They're like, no, that's your single.
Yeah. No, well, Dark Necessities, it's a great comeback single, I've got to say. I mean, it was one which when I initially heard it took me sort of 2 or 3 listens, but it's a really addictive piece of music. I keep on listening to it repeat all the time.
Yeah, it's nice when things take a minute to sink in.
It's really good. And how are the rest of the bands, all the
Terrible.
other guys? Really?
Not well.
Very
jaundiced.
Physically or?
No, I'm kidding. They're great because they got to go home early. They left me behind to do the press. So they're all
You got the short straw.
They're singing and dancing on the beach right now in Malibu, California.
Well, you're here in rainy London.
Exactly.
I get the impression the relationships you have within the band, I mean, I can liken it to sort of a family relationship. Would that be sort of accurate? There's obviously a lot of love there, but there might be the odd bit of friction, but you work it out in the end, sort of thing.
It's closer to an actual marriage than a complete family.
Yeah.
We're like husbands and wives. I'm not sure which is which, but that's the way it feels. There's a lot of compromise, which is difficult because as an artist, you have a vision of how you think for certain something should go. And then just when you've got it all perfectly devised, your mate will come in and say, actually, I'd like to put the chorus up front and just take out this entire bridge. You're like, what? Well, the bridge is the best part about the song. You can't lose. The bridge doesn't really do anything for me. The bridge is the best part. I don't think we need the bridge. So we have a lot of those moments, which is okay because we all trust and believe in each other's thought process. But it's a bitch sometimes.
I bet it is. Well, you could always wrestle for them for the results.
With Chad in the band, that's not a great idea.
Well, you say that. I've seen the video. I've seen the Corden clip. Everyone has. I mean, you're pretty tasty. Chad's
a beast of an animal. He's twice the size of anybody else in the band.
James Corden isn't small. You took him down.
Chad's from Michigan.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
But you look like you've got some jiu-jitsu moves going on there from what I see. Spirit of Royce Gracie.
Yeah. Chad and I have wrestled before.
Have you? Who wins?
It hurts.
So he always wins.
He didn't walk away without a scratch, but yeah, he's got a fire in him.
Well, I've got to say, I was surprised with your moves. Was that a fun thing to do, the Corden thing? It really looked like it.
From beginning to end, it was a joy.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There's something special about that guy. His love for music is beyond and authentic, and when he would put these songs on for us to sing along with, like you could see something going on inside of him where he just elevated. Like that's what fills his soul with happiness. So I think he found the right job for himself.
I've got to say, I didn't have him as a Chili Peppers fan.
You didn't?
No, because
based on
because of what I've seen him sing before. He really likes Gary Barlow. He really likes Take That and stuff like that. Which I know that doesn't mean he shouldn't like the Chili Peppers, but when I saw him sing along to all your songs, he knew all the words. I was quite taken aback by it.
Yeah, I like that about him, that he has a broad range of taste. Yeah.
And one thing I also took from that video as well was when you were singing along to Dark Necessities, the lot of you, it looked like all of you were properly sort of in love with that song, if that makes any sense.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in love with that song. I'm in love with our togetherness on that jam.
I could really tell that sort of came through on the video. I think.
Haven't seen it yet, but
Are you? How come you haven't seen it?
I don't like looking at those things that we've done.
Really?
Yeah, I'd rather just move ahead, move along.
Well, you should check it out.
Mind the gap.
You should definitely check it out. I'd like to touch on Josh just quickly, if I may, because last time I spoke to you guys, I came out to Malibu on the last record. Thanks for flying me out, by the way. It was lovely.
Anytime.
That was really good. But that was his first record.
Right.
Now this is his second record. Do you think that's made a difference?
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge. It's next to impossible to make your best record first time out of the gate with a new guy, because you haven't been on tour yet. You haven't really gotten to know him yet. So we made our first record with him, and we like it. We love it. We still play those songs. It was fun. The tour with Josh that we did after that record was sensational. But when we started writing for this new one, it was a whole nother level of knowing him, and the telepathy that we need to exist as a band was there. And he also felt way more comfortable, as a voice. It wasn't like the new guy anymore. He was the guy. And now he's a driving force. He's a creative juggernaut in the band, and we're so lucky to have him.
Well, I guess, from his point of view, it was always going to take a bit of time to sort of, settle into a band such as yourselves.
Just does.
And also I noticed as well, he's sort of influencing the set list a little bit, pulling some of the older Chili Pepper songs which maybe you haven't been playing live, stuff like Airplane and stuff. He's been sort of pulling for those.
He's certainly not against it. He's a very open-minded lad.
Yeah.
Down for the cause.
Fantastic.
Yep.
So what's next for you guys? Obviously, I know we've got Reading and Leeds here in the UK end of August.
We're basically in Europe all year long until the end of December. We go home for a couple of days here and there, but basically we're spending time in Europe, so we'll be around.
All right, brilliant.
Yeah, from Denmark to Poland to Italy, you name it.
Fantastic. Well, congratulations on the new record, The Getaway. Cool. A triumph. Thank you very much.
So fun.
Yes.
So fun. They were all fun. I think Pink Pop may have been the most fun.
How come?
It was booming. The audience was just booming. It was all good, playing under the sky in the summer in Europe. People show up, they care, it's exciting. It's a win-win. But Pink Pop just elevated to the next level. You and your giant red friend there.
It's quite large, isn't it?
Yeah.
Welcome to London.
Thank you.
I was hoping you might bring a bit of California sunshine with you.
I did. It shows its face from time to time. It was sunny yesterday in the afternoon.
Yes.
My nanny, who's a bit of a Mary Poppins, actually brought the sun. What little sun there is, she brought with her.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, have you flown in from Los Angeles, or are you sort of on the promo tour? Is it?
It's not a promo tour. We actually played shows in Europe, and then it ended as a promo tour.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we played all over Germany, Austria, Holland. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Those places.
And how were those shows? Good?
Which you would think it's an older festival. Maybe people would be a little bit been there, done that. They were having it that night.
Was the weather good as well? I've got to ask, because over here it's been awful recently.
Yeah, it's been rainy over there, but people don't seem to care.
Well, it's a bit like that actually on the weekend, because I was at Download Festival. Okay, it's me, Loz Guest, here with Mr. Anthony Kiedis from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you.